Well, joining me now in the studio is Apostle Oshodi Jereton. He is the leader at Edo community in Lagos State. Very good morning to
Good
you.
morning, sister. God bless you.
Great. How are you today?
I'm fine. I'm fine. Good time.
So let's talk. I would love to get a feel as regards Edo community, right here in Lagos.
Yes.
Have we been seeing any pre-electionary, activities happen over time in Lagos State?
All right. Good. I do EDJs in Lagos, or I do community in Lagos. Truly, we have been on ground for a couple of years now, but to this issue, this coming election in Edo State, we have to look at a different dimensions. And
Yes.
but before then, let me just tell you who we are. The Edo's indigenous in Lagos. We are not governmented. None are we profit rented groups. We just create these groups at least to have an influence to the good government in right back home in those states. And what actually prompted us was the news and the message we were hearing from home when a candidate stood up to contest for his right in order to serve his people. And there was a scenario, there was a signals that were not too good for our hearing. And when some people right there in the village were saying they are homeboy and the other boy is not a homeboy and others. And we felt, oh, if nothing is done to that right now, in the near future, my children, our children here in city, and those in diasporas will be strangers in their whole town.
Right.
So to arrest that, we come to this group and say, okay, we have been having different kinds of group, but let us form a group that will be participating, having an impact. It's happening right there home. That was what about this organization. Yes.
Beautiful. I love it. Now let's talk about the electionary period in Edo State. I would love to have your view as regards what has happened so far, because over time we've seen plenty of twists, the drama unfolding as regards this election. We've had cases of some of the political parties coming out to say, please, we do not want a campaign of calumny. We've seen persons, have different ill statements being said, due to emotions and all of that. So I'd love to have your view as regards it so far.
All right. I want to look into this by bringing an interest. Will you agree with me or by my own view? I've discovered, I begin to realize that the politicians are not the problems. We, the parties, do I call ourselves not the party members or whatever, have become the protest. And most of these times we blame the politicians, all right? And by blaming them, we create a lot of vacuums for them to be operating on what they are doing. I listen to them on television, this one accusing this on that, this one say this is going to what he's going to do, and the other one say that is going to go to do, and we falling back at home, that is, then what, let me come in there. What the way this democracy is all about is a government for the people, by the people, and to the people. But the government we have in today is a government from the people against the people. One, why is it against the people? You have to first of all look at the people. The people on themselves have met so many of our people who we said, if nobody give me anything, I'm not going to vote for her. And you didn't even look at where this person is coming from. You understand? Like the this exercise we had in Lagos a few days ago by bringing us in, let him come and tell us in Lagos why we should come home and to vote for him. And some of the people were, if you not give me cap, I'm not going to come. If they not give me transport, I'm not going to come. And you can imagine you were looking up to a one man to sponsor the entire state, buying cars and whatever for them, giving them money for them to come and vote for them. And you are not asking, how would this man come back? Where will he get this money from? You understand? You automatically he's going into a business. At the end of it all, he must recover his money. And where will you expect him to get the money to serve you? So it's a hard time now we begin to look into ourselves as the populace. Who is sending somebody to come and to go and serve us? What do we do to help this person to get there? So that when he got there, at least he will be able to serve us.
Interesting.
You understand?
So I love the fact, I love the angle you're coming from now. Now let's quickly delve and dive into, the stakeholders, can we break it down for, the common man a little bit? Because you said during the course of your conversation, you said it's not just a problem of the politicians involved, even the people are involved. So when we say stakeholders, who really are we referring to?
Stakeholder is just a simple definition of individuals and group who have interests.
So now, in this particular scenario here in Nigeria, we can say the international community.
Yes, of course.
Okay, and then who others as well?
The groups like associations of different types. Right. Then we have individuals.
Okay.
All right, they have an interest in moving the government or choosing the right persons to come in for them. Like me now. Sorry, you call me a stakeholder, yes, good. I have a personal interest, and that's giving me a drive of doing whatever I'm doing here today. My personal interest is looking at right there home, a place that I will call my home. You understand? A place that I'll be happy to tell my children this is where I come from, and this is their home. You understand? Okay. And I'm looking for to build a home where and can you agree with me that those days when you want to travel, like we in Lagos, if we travel home, we pray for accident, you understand, and all the other things. But now you don't pray for accident anymore. We don't even care. People even prefer to get accident or for somebody to thief you when you get home, to steal you and say they kidnap you. You understand? Now what? Because and now so many of us have been in Lagos now for years. We're afraid of going to our own place. You understand? Because of insecurity. Right. You understand? And so this as a drive, give me an interest that I should look for a competent man, and a man that will have the heart of the people. You understand? If you look, the politics we have these days is no longer the politics for the people. It's not longer the politics for the people. It has been hijacked by criminals, I will call them. Permit me to do that, because one, when you stand in that criminal act, where you believe that you have to smash it, you have to run away, you have to slap people to get in there. Then at the end of the day, I believe by the process of slashing and running away, they leave their sense behind. And so they have no idea of what to do when they get to the office, because they run things and they let. So automatically,
so speaking about what to do, let's talk about some of the qualities, persons should look out for. For the ideal next Edo State governor, what are some of the qualities that winner should have? Because over time we've had and heard cases, as regards bashing and talking ill amongst each other. We've seen he doesn't know how to speak English well. Oh, he has this, he has that. God for that. So, what are some of the qualities you feel the next Edo State governor should have?
Oh, coach, just let me start where you stopped. What makes me has more interest on one particular man, which is actually Gudalo.
I would not want you to talk about a particular man.
Yes.
I want you to speak generally.
Generally,
so could have
okay.
That, general
on that language that he does not speak his language. And when I look at that scenario, I say, oh, that makes me to believe he's the most qualified guy there. Why? Because in the office, there will be any. I knew at the time of one man who was from the Edo North. You understand? The mother was there with him. They discussed in their language. Every other tribes of Edo. Edo is made up of different language. That is not the cut off of the system. So like this one now,
have the ability to speak the language correctly. Yeah. Okay, so I will not love us to talk.
It has nothing to do with the language. Please, if we have to, just give me the time.
Okay.
We don't need. It's not the language. It's not going there to speak Ishan. It's going there to rule Edo State. It's not going there to rule Ishan. Now let's come back. Ambrose Ali was there. You will agree with me, Ambrose Ali doesn't understand Ishan. And the testimonies of Ambrose Ali, Ishan cannot ever recover from it. Can never. So you have nothing to do with the language. You have what you have out here.
What are the qualities?
The qualities being you mentally sound. You understand? You have a focus. You have your blueprint show to the people. You know, politics is all about, it's not about do or die affairs or a kind of a fight for the fittest. It's about you showing your popularity, telling the people, this is what I have for you. when you make me your governor, or when you send me on this errand, we want to send them on errand to serve us. When you send me, this is how I'm going to deliver. This is what I will do to make sure I deliver. And it's not for the people to say, look, this one has a good... I can imagine when you have your own money and you want to send somebody a market to get you some stuffs. And the person is telling you, when I get there, I will first of all share the money within the people, you understand, that brought me to you. Then after that, if there is anything remaining, I will buy my own, then before considering you. And another person will say, oh, I have an idea of what to do. Instead of passing through this, I think with this we can easily get it so that we get a table and I get a food on the table that will feed everybody. And you want to choose the one that will first of all go back home and introduce himself to people that send them? No. We're looking for quality, accountability. At incident, we speak for that. Before you come up, what have you on table? What have you been in the areas where you have found yourself? What have you been able to deliver? So if we see this person, it's a matter of choice. It's not a matter of go and snap it, go and slash it, go and kill the person and what he did. Right. Let me tell you something, man, before I forgot. I'm an apostle, God's servant. I've seen a spark, all right? And I've come to realize that when God wants to change issues, he looks for a particular man. And this change in Nigeria we have been clamoring for. God have decided to do that. But God is not looking up to Abuja. I must be sincere to you. The change is not coming from Abuja. It's going to be on the political zones, geopolitical zones. Like now, look at Abia in the Far East. Every other state in the East in the near future will copy from Abia. And the change is already taking place in the East. And now to the South, God is looking at one man. And to bring the change, and he wants to bring the change on the South, starting from Edo. And if we didn't get it right this time around, we have it wrong. Okay. And this time around, honestly, it's looking up to. Permit me to measure a person.
Honestly, no, don't mention anybody, please. Because I feel right now in the political space in Nigeria, I think we should leave God factor aside. Yes. Because honestly, I also feel that Nigeria as a whole have put so many things on God. Do this, God will help us. Whilst there's some basic things that we can do, you know, electorate and Nigerians can do for ourselves, having the right persons on board. That's why I feel we're having this conversation at the right time in talking about the expectations, aspirations, you know, and all of that as regards to the election. Now let's talk about the electoral umpire, INEC. That's the Independent National Electoral Commission. We saw what happened during the course of the general election. And we saw in some states, for instance, in Delta State, where we had, you know, late arrival of materials and all of that happened. So what would you think should be the expectations, you know, of stakeholders towards INEC as regards ensuring that the credibility of INEC still stands in this election?
Oh, wow. Thank you. I look back to 4 years ago. And I'm beating my chest for the sitting governor. And I said, if he fall below what he displayed 4 years ago, I will call him a coward.
That's quite a big word to use.
Yeah. You see, last year, 4 years ago, Edo State Election, we were expecting it to project in the national election. You understand? I think that was the first time a result I think that same day, before 5 p.m., the result was already done. Why? Because there was an electronic report. You understand? So I'm expecting the governor to improve on what he does 4 years ago. So that's giving me the confidence that the the INEC in Edo will do something better. If they go beyond 4 years ago, then that is a sign that the government is going back.
Then what about the security agencies?
The security agencies, I want to seize this opportunity to call because, listen, man, you see, when we heard of snatching of ballot box and others, I believe that it's not strangers. An Igbo man, and a Yoruba man, or an Hausa man cannot come to my village to snatch a ballot box. You understand? It should be the indigenous. We know that. You understand? So I have the security aspect of it. I always use this medium to beg on the royal father like the Oba Benin, the Nigerians in Nation and the Amchil, you understand, and they do not, and others, then come back to religious fathers to begin to talk to our children right there at home. The snatcher, the Balombo snatcher, the kidnapper, or whatever they want to do there in the security aspect, they are not strangers. They are our children. We know them. We should start talking to them now that the election is not about do or die. It's a show my case. You come and tell me you said you are popular and people will vote for you. Come and show it up. That's what it means. It's not come and fight somebody or come and stand the boss. No, that is not what it is. So I'm begging our religious fathers at home, relax. So please, to start talking. I'm expecting the Oba to explain to the other rulers, because I can recall some incident. I can't actually remember the year when I learned that I had the kidnapping was about entering Edo. Let me use that language. The Oba came out. You understand? They did something, and since then we have not heard about kidnapping within the Edo monopolies. So I think, which means the Oba and the NHS, they have a good voice. They can raise the voice for this security, and we have a very good time.
Amazing.
A very peaceful.
Amazing. So, in terms of the citizens, because I feel the citizens, I think, the major stakeholders, you know, in this election, moving forward and coming forward. So, in terms of the citizens' participation and engagement, what should be, you know, that expectation? Because still falling back to the last election we had, that's the general election, we saw how from the citizens, the momentum was pretty high. You know, there was this, oh, we have a savior coming on board. You saw persons, you know, coming out. INEC said the beavers would work, you know, da. And then after the election, we saw another reaction from the citizens. And then there was a bit of political apathy, you know, happening and flying around. So do you think that would influence a Edo State election?
Well, let me come this way. Edo is not Nigeria.
But Edo is part of Nigeria.
Edo is part of Nigeria. You know what I use that language? I would have believed that the Nigeria was too large for them to handle. You understand? I come to Edo in a very part of it. Apart from being an apostle of Christ, I'm a royal father. I'm a chief Ushudin. I'm going home, time ahead. Any moment from now, I'm traveling, and I'm going to talk to my people. Now, right there, man, at the polling unit, my vote must be counted. There's no two ways. Then if the INEC knows that the no, this is an issue of Edo is part of Nigeria, but we are not as large as Nigeria. You understand? So we can easily coince and do things within ourselves and make it active.
All right. So we've been talking on the citizenry participation and engagement as regards it.
Okay, let me start from where I stopped. I told you in the moment from now I'll be traveling home. All right, and let me remind you of a song by Bob Marley those days that rightly said, emancipate yourself from mental slaveries. You see, these politicians have succeeded long time now to engage us mentally. And they cause a lot of problems. And at the end, during the election period, by the time they share 1,000 Indomie and we felt we have eaten something, and nobody, because mentally, we become mentally poor, you understand? And nobody think this 1,000, how long will it carry you for 4 years before the next election? It's not going to be for 1,000 every day, but just for one moment. And we believe in enjoyment for one moment. So I think we have to engage our people mentally and let them know, no, this is not the times of collecting anything from anybody. It's a time of we making choice. Then, like what we're saying about the INEC, if they come to deprive of our rights, we should stand on our ground to tell them we won't take that nonsense. We won't take it. If they know the beaver will not work, let them think other things to do now. Before they come to the field and tell us the beaver will not work, we won't take it, I will be sure. In my polling unit, we can't take it. Where are we? Nobody will tell me that my vote will not be counted. You understand? So we should be able to tell ourselves the truth. It is we who is sending them message. So nobody should come and force somebody on me that this is who you should send. Putting them on the playground, I have been able to look at who my vote will be going for. Because every right print speak ahead me and for my future. Now listen, man. You know what brought me? I'm not a politician like what I told you, but I'm interested in leadership. I don't ask myself, where was our parents, where was our fathers before these people drag us to where we are today? Then I'm not asking myself a question. What would be the future of my children if I fold my hand and start watching these cowards taking us this way?
So I don't think we should use coward as...
Okay, sorry on that language, and I have to use it because they have dragged us to that level. What would be the future of our children if we fold our hands and allow these people to come and tell us every lie? Steal our vote, and no, so we can't take it anymore. What is there that our vote will be counted? I'm going home. We are not going to fight. Like what I told you, whoever is coming to snatch the ballot box is not a stranger. You can't bring an outside man to my village to come and snatch it. Well, it's going to be my people. So we're going to talk to them, turn their brain round. Like what I told you about Bob Marley. Yeah. We have to emancipate them from mental slavery.
So more of engagement, having town hall meetings.
Town hall meetings, just an orientation.
Absolutely. And speaking about orientation, debate as well could actually be part of it. I know ITV is conducting, I think next week, we'll have the debate of the village as well. So let's move over to the speaking about ITV. What is the role and, of course, your own expectation, from the media towards the election?
Oh, anyway, the medias have been doing, should I say, extremely good. You understand? But we knew to the governments of Nigeria and today, the media has also deprived of doing their right. Some of them receive threats. You understand? Nigeria is aware of this. But I think this is a turning point. I think Nigeria we should start experiencing a turning point from Edo. Like what I was telling you, let's take our mind from the center away from Abuja. Let's begin to look inward. You understand? If Edo from the south comes up like Abia we're seeing today, and we're looking at one state from the west, one from the north, other states will follow. Then the center, which is the Abuja, will be forced to do the right thing. So I appreciate the media. You understand? I have to tell you, especially this present day with the social media backing up the television and others. I think that is what part of the helps that is bringing Nigeria out of the darkness. We have so much being dark. I remember those days when they ring election, we say, they don't ring them. We don't even know what is happening. But now, I think the medias are helping the issues. God bless you guys.
Interesting. Now, speaking about the election, are you foreseeing any bit of challenges happening, on that day? And then, if yes, what do you think could be done to address it ahead? Because I feel most times from, what we've seen so far, especially with the Nigerian government and system, we see more of a reactive government as against the proactive government. So let's have, with that in mind now, can you talk about some challenges you're foreseeing happening on that day and how they can be addressed ahead of time?
All right. If some actions is not being taken now, or if people who knows face to do what they know, the wrong one will take over, and they will engage of slavery for life. You see, it's a point of time I begin to call on the traditional rulers, the clerics. Let us begin to talk to our people that it's not the fight for the fittest. It's about you coming out to show your popularity. That is what election is all about. Come out and tell us how the people know you or how much they believe in you. It's not about you training up some set of groups that if this thing happen, go and break somebody's head, everybody's head will run. So like what I said, that is why I told you I'm going home early enough, so I begin to talk to my people, because I would not like to fold my hand as a traditional ruler. You understand? Seeing my children breaking their heads. I don't know how the Oba of Benin, the Niger decision, we see it when our children are killing themselves just for one person to be in power. You understand? So I will like the traditional ruler, the clergy, the churches, the pastors. You understand? How will you be a pastor of congregations and during the election you see them fighting themselves? We should be able to tell them that that is not what it takes. You understand? Right. Let that person you believe come out and show the world that he's capable of doing what you are sending him to go and do. Then we vote for. It's a quiet issue. Well, I'm expecting to see a very peaceful election in Edo State. Very peaceful.
Very peaceful indeed.
Very peaceful.
Beautiful. I think we've highlighted and touched every stakeholders towards the election generally, except the international community. Because over time, I know there's this particular community, that's the Amnesty International community, very vocal every time as regards things happening in the country. How can they support a credible and free election here in Edo State?
All right. The international body. Come down to Edo, to what it is. You will agree with me, there is no house in Edo State that don't have somebody in diaspora.
Right.
All right? And you will agree with me that those of us right there at home, listening to them more than we close to them here in city, not even them in village, because most of their daily ending or survival is from them. You understand? So they have an important role. They will listen to them deeply more than any other thing. You understand? That is where they come from. So they know their brothers at home. You understand? They can also talk to them. Their influence will go a long way. Their influence over the people at home will go a long way.
Okay, so as we tend to wipe up and round up the conversation pretty soon, let's talk about the outcome of the Edo State's election and the impact it's going to have on the political landscape here in Nigeria.
All right. Like what I told you, I said, I'll seal a spark. And God, you see, I've come to realize that at any time God wants to institute a change, He looks for one man. All right. And now we have got one from the east, which is the Nigeria East. Now it's the turn for the South. Somewhere in Deuteronomy, God said, if my people will choose the one I selected, I want to come back to you. There is what God do and there is what men do. If you leave what men do for God, there will be a vacuum. And that vacuum is what leads us to this poverty. It's what leads us to where we are today. You understand? God will select. The choice is for the people. You understand? God had brought out Okpebolo. He had brought out Akpata. He had brought out Aswe for us. So it is the choice of the people now to choose who will lead them. And don't forget in Bible, and the law said, if you wake up in the morning, there is no food in the home, there is no money in your pocket, injustice everywhere, God said, don't hold me responsible. You choose the wrong person. But He said, if you wake up in the morning, there is food, there is money in your pocket, justice everywhere, everybody happy, moving well. God said, I'm not also responsible. It is you that choose the right person. So I'm encouraging the Edo people to choose the right person so that we'll rejoice.
So basically, the power lies in the hands of Edo people.
Edo people, right.
So finally, I would love to have your final thoughts on, on the outcome and expectations towards the election.
All right. I want to also use this opportunity to beg the federal might to stay clear from the Edo election. All right. Let the federal might stay clear from. I don't want to choose the person that will serve them. I have nothing to do with federal. We have choose who will serve us in federal, and they are there in federal doing what they are doing. So they should allow us to choose who will serve us, not imposing anybody on us. You understand? And so I think by that, Edo will make a right choice. Absolutely. And I'm begging to the INEC, to the security men, to allow peace reign in Edo.
Allow peace to reign in Edo. Well, it's been a bumper interesting
New Edo is
conversation.
possible.
All right, interesting. It's been an interesting conversation right here in the studio. We have been talking about the expectations, aspiration, from the stakeholders as regards the election in Edo State come September 2024. So basically, say no to vote buying, say no to electoral violence. The new Edo that we want can happen with your input and, of course, ours over here. It is interestingly possible. And I have, of course, been speaking to Apostle Oshodi. Jeriton, leader community in Lagos. Thank you so much
God bless you,
for
my
coming
sister.
to the studio today.
It's a
Well,
pleasure.
that's all we have from our end in Lagos studio. Thank you so much.